Welcome everyone to the National Wetlands Awards for the year as we recognize the winners in the category Science and Research, the Grenfells. Congratulations, Michael and Suzanne. So a quick few questions so that the audience can get to know you a little bit better. You are not the first wetland couple in our midst. So, and through working with the Grindlings, I know that it can be equally challenging and rewarding. What are the advantages and challenges of working in the same field?
Well, I'll start with the disadvantages, although they can also be advantages as well. I mean, most recently we've been working on an NRF research project together, and we'll end up planning field trips where we take the dog, our 10-year-old, our parents-in-law to babysit the dog and 10-year-old, and it becomes really logistically complex. Obviously, as well, trying to get away. In fact, the reason we're both not at the Indaba is we sort of tag team it. So if one of us is away, then we try and make sure there's some stability at home. So I guess that's the main difficulty. But I mean, it's life, really, whether or not we were working in the same field or not. I think that the same problem would apply.
But there's so many advantages. I mean, we've been working together. We both started off under Fred Ellery's supervision as postgrad students, met at UKZN, got married, and the advantage of being able to have conversations about wetlands all the time is a massive advantage, much to the dismay of our son at the dinner table. But yeah, just to be able to discuss stuff and to share ideas and to share discoveries and excitements with someone all the time is a massive advantage.
Yeah, we definitely add a lot. I mean, whenever one of us gets our lab data and we come home and be like, I don't know why it's like this, and then we kind of workshop things while we're talking, while making dinner, and that's what's fantastic because it keeps you engaged and also keeps you on top of things. You know, you share literature, or if we see a paper or see some sort of seminar or video online, then we share that, and it's really great. So you can really combine efforts, really.
Yeah. I'm sure Renee and Amy Grindling will agree with the dinner table conversations. You know, it can either go in the direction where he ends up doing the same as you, or completely going in the opposite direction to avoid wetlands at all costs.
Yeah, hard to tell at the moment.
So what has been the highlights of your careers?
You go first this time.
Sure, I think I'd always wanted to visit the tropics when I was a kid, and to go and make discoveries. I wrote a short story when I was a 10-year-old about discovering new species in the Amazon, and this is like, it was always my dream. And building on from my master's, I was awarded a scholarship to go and study at Exeter University and had an opportunity to do a PhD in Papua New Guinea, on big tropical meandering rivers, and it was just like the realization of something that I would always sort of dreamed about. So that, I think, that opportunity to go and just to travel in general, the travel that you get exposed to as an academic, that's one of the major benefits and highlights of being in this type of career, to visit these wilderness environments, these beautiful places, to experience those sorts of things that you just sort of dream about. So I think, yeah, that was my kind of career highlight.
Yeah, you still have that short story, Michael?
Yeah, my mom kept it. I've got a copy of it somewhere.
Can we see it? One day.
You should have said no to that question.
Yeah. Now we know.
I think
you, Suzanne?
Mine, there's some it's one small similarity. I also agree that you know, when you do our sort of research, you go to these places and you experience them in a way that no one else will. You walk in a landscape a lot of people will look at from afar, but not necessarily walk through. And then you're walking through and birds will come out and you'll see, you know, like little vole tunnels and things like that. And I think that is quite an amazing part of our jobs. But for me, my career highlight is thinking, actually, graduating Kenwin, my PhD student last year, and it was just the whole experience, you know, because I co-supervised him a little bit in masters, and then managed to trick him into doing a PhD with me. And just seeing his growth, like over those few years, it's just been amazing when you just see someone emerge as this complete scientist who, like, I have so much respect for. It's just a wonderful thing seeing someone grow like that. So that is really highlights, I guess, of our job, and we hopefully will get to experience it like with other students as well in the future. But I think he'll always be a standout for me, just the way he matured and grew as a scientist. Yeah.
That's really cool. Because that's actually my next question. Both of you work with students and you see them come up in the ranks, and some of them move completely out of the field and others become embedded in the field. Or they exit as scientists. But what makes a student succeed? What makes them stay and really, like you say, flourish into this scientist of their own? And do you have any tips for up and coming wetlanders?
That's a hard question. It's something we talk about all the time. What makes some students succeed and others not? My personal view is that well, I mean, you can succeed in terms of completing your degree. That's one thing. But then someone becoming truly excellent, I think, relates a lot to curiosity. It's the way someone looks at the world. It's the way they ask questions. It's the way they critique things. So they get data and they don't immediately just jump to conclusions. They think about what it means. But I mean, there's other qualities as well, just like perseverance, managing time, those sort of things as well. But you might
No,
not
that curiosity is the most important part about being a scientist. It's not about having answers to every single question, but it's about being able to ask the right questions, being able to ask good questions in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's something that really I'm trying to model from the supervision that I had as a master's student with Fred, and during my honors. Someone who's so curious, and who, you can then, who models that curiosity and that behavior of how to be a scientist. There's that, he always used to speak about the hidden curriculum at universities, and how some students get that and some don't, but often it's behavior that we learn from our supervisors, learning how to be a scientist, how to do science, how to ask the right questions. And just those conversations that you have in the field with students are so formative and so important for them to be able to experience things and see how you interact. You see how your supervisor behaves and the questions they ask.
I think what's important there, though, is the student has to be open to that interaction. So, I mean, I was joking about it actually with Michael this morning. Like, I took a whole lot of students to honors for an honors field trip, and you're trying to engage them and talk about questions and things you don't know the answers to, but some of them are taking selfies, some are getting distracted by spiders on their pants, or, so students have to be present in order to actually be able to take advantage of those interactions and sort of understand how the correct way of thinking about things or trying to interpret things. So I guess, being present is a really important aspect of student success.
And research is difficult. You have to really want it, especially for a PhD. It's a long journey, and you have to really want to succeed and want to know the answers to the questions. When you get a data set, it should be the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning, and the last thing you think about before you go to bed at night. It's something that should consume you in a positive way.
Even though it's not always positive, like I know with a PhD journey, it goes like this. But seeing that end product in your mind, so critical.
And I think you've exactly said it. It's not always a happy process.
No.
We always share this one article we have with our students. It's not written by us. I can't remember who it is, but it's something about the importance of stupidity and the idea that as a researcher, you have to be comfortable with not always knowing the answer and accepting that's okay, because that's the point. Because if everyone knew the answer, then why would you be doing this in the first place? So it's accepting that and realizing it's part of the process. So you've got to feel stupid at some point, otherwise you aren't asking the right question.
True, and you can't grow. If you didn't feel stupid, you would never grow. As a person or as a professional or so. So any tips then for upcoming wetlanders, for all the young students sitting in the room watching this interview?
Try to spend as much time in the field as possible.
Okay.
Find ways to get out there, because that's where you learn. You've got to experience it. You've got to be out there.
Yeah. And not necessarily your own fieldwork. So if someone asks and they want help, volunteer, go along, see the different methods, get involved, like see how much can you learn about that method. If they're doing the coring and you haven't done that before, get yourself in there. And then, you know, ask questions. What does this mean? What are you going to do with this? How are you going to analyze it? So I think it's just, yeah, trying to get involved and actually thinking through the things when you are involved, I think. And then also just persevere and manage your time. Always manage your time. Treat it like a job. Do it from 9 to 5 each day. Enjoy your weekends, enjoy your evenings, but just work every day consistently.
Those are lessons for me as well. I can learn from that. I can take from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick fire questions. Just only three questions. And the idea is that you shouldn't spend longer than 3 seconds to think about this. Okay, you can answer at the same time, or you can, as you wish. Okay, so the first one is favorite wetland.
The Agulhas Plains.
1, 2.
Demont. Yeah.
Those Western Cape examples. I can't give any input on that because I don't know them at all. Okay, next question. In another life, what would you be? What would you do?
A climatologist.
I always wanted to be a game ranger, so that would have been.
Okay, last question. Which is the best university, Stellenbosch or UWC?
Oh, I can't answer that.
Yeah.
Should I cut that question from the interview?
Both have their positives and negatives.
You are way too scientific about it. I was thinking both of you would say your own university immediately like that.
No, we need a spreadsheet for that.
Okay, yeah, okay. I will know in the next interviews not to ask that type of question without the spreadsheet. But thank you very much. Thank you for the interview. And congratulations again. It is absolutely well deserved. You've had and made major impact on our community of practice and our field of study, and we really acknowledge you for that. So from the Wetland Society and from our community, thank you.
Thank you so much to the Society and to Mondi for the award, and also thanks so much to Mark Humphreys and Spike who submitted the nomination for us.
Yeah, thank you. It's an amazing recognition, and makes us feel really, really proud and privileged. So thank you. We love being part of the Wetland community, and I belong to other societies, but this is the one that really holds my heart. So thank you very much.
And it's 20 years since we attended our first Wetlands in Durban, which was also in the northwest at Barnabas Punt.
Wow.
So it's nice that exactly 20 years ago we attended our first the South African Wetland Action Group back then, and that's what kind of got us into everything.
That is incredible to know. That is incredible. We should, you should celebrate it. It's a pity that only one of you are at the Indaba. Otherwise, we could have enjoyed a glass of wine on that. Thank you very much.
Without me, I won't be angry.
Thank you, guys. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.